all you pro wrestling marks and proud. Welcome to Calling Spots with Brian Kelly. I'm Brian Kelly. You're pro wrestling marks, but so am I. We all love it. It's a term of endearment, not an insult. So I'm wearing my Everyone is Welcome Progress Wrestling shirt. So go to Progress Wrestling and buy their stuff because they're a indie company out of England, the UK. I'm not sure where exactly, but they're awesome. And they put out great product. So check them out on YouTube, check them out on Twitter, Facebook, and all that good stuff. They have awesome shirts and awesome matches and awesome entertainment. And speaking of awesome entertainment, we had some NXT quote-unquote dark matches that are actually pre-taped matches from TAKEOVER Philly that played tonight on NXT, which is the 31st of January 2018. So let's go through and see what we get. So we're still in Philly. We open with highlights from the actual TAKEOVER show. Andrade and the tag match between Undisputed Era. I'll get it. I'll figure it out. And Undisputed Era and AOP, Authors of Pain. And then we get into the opening theme, which is an awesome theme by Power Flow. Check out the actual track on their record. There's some swearing in it. And the drums are awesome. They're kind of offbeat, syncopated kind of drums. You don't really hear it in the 30-second clip that they edited together for the NXT theme, but check it out. Power Flow Resistance. It's a really kick-ass song. Tyler Bate and Roderick Strong promo saying, hey, we got a match coming up tonight. It's a number one contenders match for the UK title between Roderick Strong and Tyler Bate, which turns out to be an okay match. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And then Nikki Cross, blam, plum, plum, blam, plum, plum. Yep. And Nikki comes out, and she's just amazing, dude. Her character, I love it. I've been pulling for her for years since I saw her on the indie scene. I forgot what she was called on the indie. It was Cross. It was something to do with water. For some reason, it's like Cross River or something like that. Anyways, but I'm really glad she got into NXT, and she's doing really good work on the women's roster in NXT. I would really like to see her on main. Get her on, let's see, where would she be best at? I think she would be best on SmackDown probably, because SmackDown has Carmella, Charlotte, Naomi, Natty, kind of, even though some of them are heels, they still have kind of a bubbly personality, kind of a, hey, girly personality. That's not an insult. And she's got that kind of, you've got Asuka and Nia on Raw to kind of do the monster unbeatable thing. And I think if you pushed Nikki that way on SmackDown as like their top heel, maybe not heel, but top, monstrous woman, that would be cool. But anyway, she came out. She's great. Lacey Evans came out. I like Lacey Evans a lot. I think she's got a lot of good in-ring work. I'll be honest, I liked her Marine thing a little better because she's a former Marine. So her first incarnation of her character was kind of a Marine character. Excuse me. And I like that a little bit better than the pinup girl thing. The pinup girl's cool and it's sexy and she looks great and it is original, I'll give her that. But then again, I don't know shit about building character. That's one thing I will say. I don't know anything about building character. When I first saw Velveteen Dream, I thought it was a nightmare. I thought it was never going to work. I thought people are never going to like this, and I was wrong, and he's one of my favorite people in the company now. I love that character. And there was somebody else that I was like that with, too, where I was like, that is a terrible idea, and no one is ever going to buy that. And I was completely wrong. I can't remember who it is now. I should have written it down. But anyway, so I don't know. Maybe she'll have a turn, and people will start to enjoy what she's doing, but I just don't. I don't know. I don't know. There's something about that character that doesn't hit home with me. Her badass Marine character is who she is. I saw her doing training like in a WWE YouTube video where she's helping train other girls and other guys in the performance center. And man, her just barking orders at these guys is intimidating as fuck. And I think that's who she should be in the ring because it's true to who she is. And I mean, I don't know. Anyways, so it's Nikki and Lexi. And Nikki beats up Lexi pretty good. She beats her under the ring. She pulls the apron, the draping part of the apron out. Lacey falls into it, and she just beats the crap out of her until Lacey kind of disappears into the ring. That was pretty good. Nikki looked really, really strong. Maybe they're doing this because they're getting ready to push Sanity into main roster, and she's going to be part of it. I don't see them getting rid of 4 people at once, that entire faction. I mean, they did it with the Shield and they did it with the Wyatts, but I don't see Triple H going, take what is arguably my most popular faction right now, all 4 of them to main. I don't know, but could be. But they made her look really, really strong. It was really funny too. Percy called Morrow Nigel, and Morrow goes, "My name is Morrow." It was really funny. Called him out on it. I don't know why they didn't edit that out because these are all pre-taped, but they left it in and it was pretty funny. A lot of TAKEOVER recaps from they pretty much did a little 2-minute, 3-minute TAKEOVER recap for all of the matches that happened at TAKEOVER during this NXT. So we had a TAKEOVER recap of AOP versus Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, Redragon, which Red Dragon really, really came out looking great. That's the kind of tag team wrestling we've been waiting for from those guys since they got here. And now we finally saw it. We're like, that's why these guys are who they are. And man, a year from now, when they're doing that on SmackDown or when they're doing that on Raw, it's going to be so great. Can you imagine those guys versus the Usos right now? It'd be so good. And then we had another TAKEOVER recap of Shayna Baszler versus Ember Moon. I have my own opinions on Shayna Baszler and that whole experiment or whatever's going on right now, and I'll keep those to myself. I didn't like that match, but they showed Ember going over with her roll up and a little bit of Shayna beating the shit out of Ember after that. And so then we cut to Shayna. They did these after the match backstage interviews that they played here. So this is supposedly Shayna after her match with Ember Moon. And the interviewer, who I can't remember who it was, I apologize, asked her about, hey, you just lost to Ember. What's up with that? And Shayna goes, I didn't lose to Ember. Ember survived me. Why don't you walk down to medical and ask Ember if she feels like a winner? Which is a cool line. Shayna's great on the mic. I just have, some opinions about her and some concerns about her in-ring entertainment value and her in-ring work. But that's neither here nor there. So, she had a couple cool lines, and I like her on the mic. She's good. And then we go to a prepackaged Ember Moon entering the Royal Rumble. When she came out with her arm busted up during the Rumble, they show a package of that. And then we got another TAKEOVER recap package of Adam Cole, baby, versus Aleister Black, which was one of the most brutal matches I've ever seen. It was so good. I loved that match. I didn't do a TAKEOVER review recap because I was getting ready to launch the whole pod, and just doing all of those pods at once would have been too much. But man, what a great match. Brutal. That spot that Adam Cole takes with the 2 chairs backed up to each other, right on his back. Dude, you can see those chairs don't move. He just drops a 200-pound man right on that point of that, and it just goes... ridiculous. Great match. Then they do another after the match kind of backstage thing with Undisputed Era, where Kyle and Bobby are complaining about it, and Cole goes, guys, they'll get exactly what they deserve, talking about Sanity, because Sanity came out during that match and messed with everybody. So next week we get Sanity versus the Undisputed Era for the tag team titles, which will be great. Looking forward to that. We show Roddy Strong warming up backstage because he's got a number one contenders match with Tyler Bate coming up. Dream, we see Velveteen Dream, another after-match thing. We do a recap first, of course, of Ono versus Dream. Good match. Dream's over, which he says in the interview. He says, read my trunks to the person interviewing him, and it says, the dream is over. And she goes, the dream is over. He goes, now you know too, and walks off. It's great. And he is. People love him. He's awesome. He should be on Raw tomorrow, or next week, since Raw is not tomorrow. Anyway, so we see TM61 comes out to their entrance, which is awesome. It's great to see those guys again. I've always been a fan of TM61. I hate that Shane Thorne cut his hair. He looked cool with long hair, but that's neither here nor there. They looked great. They looked like they didn't have a speck of ring rust on them. Just a kind of a squash match between them and the Ely brothers. The Ely brothers, it had a little bit of twin magic at the beginning of it, which was really funny. The Ely brothers come out, and they're twins, so they did kind of the thing where the one guy's in the ring and he's all hurt because he's been getting the shit kicked out of him by TM61. So then the fresh Ely brother grabs him, pulls him out of the ring, and then jumps in and starts beating down Nick Miller. That's not his name. I can't remember his name. Anyways, really good stuff from TM61. They looked really, really good. I cannot wait to see Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly versus TM61. That's going to be good. That's probably going to be your TAKEOVER New Orleans, the WrestleMania weekend. I think it'll be TM61 and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, because I think after WrestleMania, Bobby, Kyle, and Adam are all moving up. That's based on absolutely nothing other than a feeling I have. Yeah, journalism. Okay. So after the TM61 match with the Ely brothers, which they squashed them, I can't remember the name of it's some Thunder Highway, Thunder Valley. They hit him with a Thunder Valley and won. We see Tyler Bate warming up backstage because, as we said earlier, he's got a number one contenders match with Roddy Strong coming up. We do a TM61 backstage interview where Shane Thorne goes, the mighty don't kneel, and they do their thing. I don't know what that means, but I guess that means TM61. Cool. That means Queen of Spades, which I get that Shayna Baszler thing, but I don't know how that means TM61. I'm sure if I asked them, they'd tell me. So the mighty don't kneel, says TM61, and I agree with him. So then we do a TAKEOVER recap package of Johnny Gargano and Cien. Probably the best match I've ever seen in NXT. My favorite match of the year so far. It's February 1st, and it's the best match I've seen all year. Dave Meltzer gave it a 5-star rating, which he hasn't given a WWE branded match a 5-star rating in 6 years since Punk Cena Money in the Bank. No, because that was 2011. That would have been way longer. But anyways, so yeah, Johnny Gargano versus Andrade Cien Almas is one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. It's best match of the year. 5-star match by Dave Meltzer, and it came to you from the mind of Triple H, Johnny Gargano, Cien Almas, and maybe a producer or two. So just goes to show you, man, there's great stuff everywhere. You can get 5-star matches from Progress, from PWG, from New Japan, from WWE, from Impact. You can get that stuff anywhere, man. Just depends on how good the in-ring performers are and how good the storytelling is. But make sure you watch that match because it's amazing. So after the package for that, they have a camera crew and a bunch of people backstage saying, hey, as Tommasa's coming out, and they're going, Tomasa, what was that about? And of course, he's a psycho killer. He doesn't say anything, just does that 1,000-yard stare as he walks away with that awesome beard. I wish I could grow a beard like that. It's freaking cool. So then we have another pre-package of Andrade entering the Royal Rumble because the two NXT champions got to be in the Rumble. I guess they should have announced that beforehand, but that's cool. And they show him kind of taking out a couple of guys in stills. They never show actual video. But then we get a Zelina Vega CN backstage Royal Rumble interview. And I believe it looks like it took place right after he got out of the Rumble, or maybe right before. I couldn't really tell. And Selena and him both basically said, this is just the beginning. You just wait and see what we do next, blah, blah, blah. He's a champ. He's the greatest. And I have to agree. He's my favorite NXT performer is CN. But Adam Cole and Aleister Black are nipping at his heels. But I've been a big CN fan for years, man. Since he first came. I didn't know who he was before he was in NXT, I'll be honest. But since he's gotten into NXT, every match he wrestles, there was a time like last year where when I knew he was on a card, I would think, oh man, not that I didn't want to watch it. I just thought it would be a down. And then every match, it was my favorite match of the night. And I was like, dude, I really like this guy apparently. So I really like CN. I hope he keeps that title for a year. It would be great for him to go into next year's WrestleMania weekend takeover, wherever they're going to have it in New York, and still be the champion, and then give it up, and then come out at the Raw after WrestleMania. That'd be dope. But anyway, we see pictures of EC3 in the crowd at TakeOver, so that's going to be very cool to see EC3 in NXT. I think they're calling him EC3 too, and he did this, so that'll be very, very cool. We show an Adam Cole Royal Rumble entrance package where he gets into the Royal Rumble, which was very cool to see Adam in the Royal Rumble. All those NXT guys who came out for the Rumble were all hurt. I was really waiting for Aleister to be in the Rumble, but they didn't do that for some reason. They're saving him for something. Maybe WrestleMania weekend. I don't know. So after the Adam Cole Royal Rumble entrance package, we get a Killian Dane versus Adam Cole next week splash promo across the screen. So that's going to be awesome to see. Because Adam Cole's great. One of my first Adam Cole match I ever watched was him versus Kyle O'Reilly at New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom 11, which Wrestle Kingdom 11 was my first full New Japan show. The first New Japan match I ever watched was Kyle O'Reilly versus Shibata for I think it was Best of Super Juniors. I'm not sure what the tournament was, but it was that finals match. And it changed the way I thought about wrestling. It changed. I was like, oh, this is a different thing. And so that's when I fell in love with New Japan. But it took me a while to get into, because it was hard to find, and they had to come out with the New Japan World website and stuff where you can watch all that stuff. So Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly for the Ring of Honor Championship at Wrestle Kingdom 11. It might be 12. I might have my things off, but I think it's 11. Is fantastic. Fantastic. I don't want to give it away, but it's a great match. Go watch that. So next week, Killian Dane, Adam Cole. That's going to be amazing. Then we also get a Undisputed Era versus Sanity championship match next week too. Next week's card is stacked on NXT, dude. I almost gave away the ending. We got the tag champs versus Sanity, Cole versus Dane. What else? The winner of the number one contenders match later on, whoever that might be. So So, anyways, we get Roddy coming out, we get Tyler coming out, and we're going to do Roddy versus Tyler #1 contenders match for the UK title, Pete Dunne's UK title, which he has locked very firmly in his jaw. This was a good match. It was kind of a squash match on Tyler. Tyler posted something after the match. Tyler lost, by the way. Tyler posted something after the match of like, hey, I lost this, I lost that. Maybe it's time for a change. So maybe he's, maybe it's character work and they planned for these, losses. Of course they planned for the losses, but you know what I mean. Because Tyler's an amazing wrestler, so I don't think they're burying him. I think they're making him, maybe he's going to do a switchblade Jay White thing and change, his whole character and the way he wrestles and stuff. I don't know. But Roddy looks stiff as fuck. And I'm serious, man. Watch this. This might be the stiffest Ring of Honor match I've ever seen. And that includes him and Pete Dunne. Roddy was hitting him with these chops, and you could just see he was doing it with every piece of strength he had. And it made Tyler look kind of weak. That backbreaker lumbar check thing he does is how he beat him for the win. But it was kind of a one-sided match. And I'm sure they're doing that for a reason. It made Roddy look great. Don't get me wrong. Roddy looked amazing. He looked tough. He looked strong. He looked like he could kick the shit out of Pete Dunne, which is what you want. But it was stiff, man. Some of those knees to his face and some of those chops looked stiff as hell. So, and the show ends with Roddy celebrating and Tyler laying on the mat, writhing in pain. So, we're going to have some great matches next week for NXT. It's going to be amazing. NXT is doing really good right now. I like what they're doing. I liked TAKEOVER a lot. I thought it was a great show. The women's division is a little wonky to me right now because Ember is the champion, but there's no real clear challengers for her other than Shayna Baszler, which kayfabe-wise, Shayna Baszler isn't really a challenge. She hasn't been there long enough. Her first match, she got rolled up and pinned. No Peyton, no Billy, no Bianca Belair. So the women's division is kind of up in the air right now, and I don't know what's going on. But I'm sure they're going to right the ship, and everything will work out and be cool by WrestleMania. I'm really looking forward to seeing Candice LeRae insert herself into the women's title scene. They might be doing tag championship things coming out. Lita said something about tag championships a while ago, and there's been rumors about it, so who knows. But that was NXT for January 31st, 2018, the year of our Triple H. Hey, man, we had a great week of wrestling. From last week's TAKEOVER through Rumble, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I skipped over Ring of Honor. I'll do Ring of Honor next week. And what a great week of wrestling, man. Hours and hours and hours of wonderful, wonderful stuff. And guys and girls kicking ass for us and entertaining us. And it was a lot of fun. I had a blast. I hope you had a blast too. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to follow me, go over to Twitter. And it's Calling Spots Pod. Facebook is Calling Spots Podcast. And Instagram is Calling Spots Podcast as well. You can email me at callingspotspod@gmail.com. That might be podcast. I'm not sure. I should have all this stuff. All the links are below in the description. So just click on one of those if you want to contact me. Thanks so much, man. Never be ashamed to be a pro wrestling mark and proud. We're going to get shirts made that say pro wrestling mark and proud. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will see you on Monday for Ring of Honor. We're going to start our Ring of Honor rundowns next week. So I'll see you guys next week. Peace.